There's 100,000 streets in this city.
So you just moved to LA?
No, I've been here for a while.
I got this sweet job coming up.
Shut your mouth. Or I'll kick your teeth down your throat and I'll shut it for you.
You put this kid behind the wheel. There's nothing he can't do.
Look like a zombie, kid. Getting any sleep?
You give me a time and place, I give you a 5-minute window. Anything happens in that 5 minutes and I'm yours. I don't sit in while you're running it down. I don't carry a gun.
Come on!
I drive.
Go for it, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
All righty, folks. It is the first Monday of the month. You know what that means. It's time for Seamen on Film. This month, we are reviewing the 2011 Ryan Gosling classic, Drive. Joining me today are my esteemed colleagues. Andy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. It's great to be here. Great to be talking about a wonderful film from the 2010s was our decade.
Yes, 2010 through 2019 action film.
Excellent.
Sabrina, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
Excellent. Good. Adam, how you doing?
I am doing well. Excited
He's very
to
excited.
talk about this movie.
All right. Adam has the soundtrack on vinyl, so it'll be interesting to get his perspective on the choice of music and as we get further into it. And Herschel, how have you been, my man?
Wonderfully well. Thank you so much for asking. Thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Are you
All
ever
right.
going to iron that flag? I'm just wondering. I mean,
I'm waiting for the natural
I think
this
that
gravity to-
every time I see it.
gravity will
Okay.
pull
All right,
the
well,
wrinkles out
Throw
of it.
it on your flagpole and let the wind take care of it.
Just all right. Okay. So like I started off saying, this month we are doing the 2011 Ryan Gosling film Drive. This movie was made on a budget of $15 million and grossed worldwide $81.4 million. So not a bad little haul for a movie that was, I think, kind of flew under the radar back in 2011.
A little bit.
I've honestly only seen this movie a couple of times. Twice. Yesterday was the second time. The first time was in like 2012. I chose this movie because, well, I'm just going to tell you the top 10, the top grossing movies of 2011. Just to let, I'll just throw them out there real quick. And this is from number 1 to number 10. You've got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Twilight Saga, Hangover Part 2, Pirates of the Caribbean, whichever one came out in 2011, Fast 5, Cars 2, Thor, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then Captain America, the First Avenger. If that top 10 list tells you anything, that
Well, now I know why I didn't see this movie.
because it was crowded over with all this like nonsense.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed it, but
Everything here, I mean, 2010 to 2019 action films are, if they're not a Marvel movie, then it's just some sort of repackaged garbage over and over and over again. So a lot of sequels, but a lot of trash movies too. But anyway, let's get into this whole thing. Ryan Gosling plays the main character here. He's just known as the driver. The whole premise, his whole thing is he is a stunt driver that in the evenings he goes around and drives for heists, I guess. Not really heists either. It's more like knocking over like pawn shops. It's not like a real like crazy ass heist or anything, but he's a getaway driver. And then he also, during the day, when he's not crashing cars for Hollywood, he's also fixing like Impalas at a garage owned by Hal from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Adam, do you have any like initial thoughts or anything on this whole?
He has so many. Are you prepared?
Like,
I
what do you,
am. I
like-
get like, you know, like what was your you like before this started, you had said you'd seen this movie just fairly recently
yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of late to this party too on this because this movie's been around since 2011 and a lot of people really like this thing. You feel anything about that, man? Like you feel left out? You weren't around in 2011, 2012, 2013 watching this movie. You waited until 2022, 2021.
I think it's mostly because I recently became a Ryan Gosling fan. And like I said before, I saw bits and pieces of the movie prior to like this year. Earlier, I watched it from beginning to end earlier this year, but I just remember the bits and pieces that I did watch, I enjoyed. Plus, on top of being a Ryan Gosling fan, like I wanted to go through his filmography. I didn't go through his filmography, but I picked out movies that I thought I'd enjoy that had Ryan Gosling in it. This was one of them. And like I said, everything I like the story of the movie. I kind of got into like soundtracks and how soundtracks go with movies and films. Like I used to not be into that type of stuff, and I love the soundtrack of this movie, and so I just generally really enjoyed this movie from beginning to end.
Okay. Herschel, how about you? I know you probably got a lot.
Yes, sir. Well, actually, I did see this many years ago. I kind of got duped, I guess you'd say. Not that it's bad, but I think I got duped like a lot of people because the name of the movie's Drive. You watch the trailer and there's a lot of cars sliding around and things happening. And basically you see all of the action parts in the trailer. So, not that it was bad. That's not what I'm saying. But I think maybe that left a bad taste in a few people's mouths in its earlier days, and it took its time to find its audience. But I really like the movie. I'm actually glad that you picked it because it had been a long time since I've seen it, and sat down. Wife watched it. My youngest son watched it, and they both really, really liked it. I don't know if that's because there's a lot of close-ups of Ryan Gosling's face, but they really enjoyed it, and so did I, man. So actually, really good pick, man. Really good pick, and kind of an odd action pick because it's a lot more crime thriller, you know. So not that that's bad. I'm just saying. So yeah, solid film.
Oh,
Joe, you're muted.
Jerry muted.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the movie opens up. It's basically what is it? Start with like a phone call. Ryan Gosling on the phone with a potential client for his driver for hire thing he's got going on.
Yeah.
If somebody has that pulled up with the little speech he gives him on the phone, I kind of like that. I didn't write it down myself.
Yeah, like you got a 5-minute window, like, you know,
Within
within the 5 minutes, we're golden. If not, you're on your own kind of thing. Like
You said
he
either
has a
side
strict
of
set of rules, you know, it's how you got to operate because he's literally just the getaway driver for hire, which is an interesting gig, you know, for moonlighting.
And that's a very important trope in these movies. Like they did it in Heat, where what's his face? He had a specific set of rules and then as soon as they break their own rules, that's when shit hits the fan. But
yeah, I like when bad guys or not so nice guys or whatever have like the rules that they follow to a T.
Every pirate has a code, man.
That's exactly right. So you kind of get a little insight here that, you know, Ryan Gosling, the driver, has his own set of rules, get paid, you know, a portion of whatever heist thing they're doing. And like I stated before, heist is like a very loose term here. These are more like robberies. I'm assuming that they're not, you know, knocking over a 7-Eleven for like $200, but, you know, a pawn shop for like 30 grand or something. Okay, so you get your first like action scene or first driving scene, I guess, within like the first like 5 minutes of the movie. Ryan Gosling waiting on two criminals to come out of, I don't know what the hell they were in, some warehouse or something. They come out with bags and he drives them to safety, or at least we assume that because he parks the car at the end of some sort of long drive and then departs. Sabrina, shoot.
I just want to say, I think that was like the coolest part of the movie was the first driving scene. That was like my favorite part.
Okay, it was awesome. It was
I
really.
was like, look at him go. He is really what he's doing right now. I was like, I am impressed by this man.
Turn off the headlights and like sliding into the parking spot. Oh yeah.
Add something about that.
Absolutely.
So I heard this one time that I think it was like when Pixar is developing stories, they say that you can use coincidences to get you into trouble, but you shouldn't use coincidences to get you out of trouble. And from when I heard that, like I kind of view a lot of like plots in that lens, and I hated when they were under the bridge and the helicopter was looking for them, and then some other gang activity or a fight just happened to happen at that time that had to draw the helicopter away from him, and that bugged me.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. But
it was like
so cool to
in
watch
line of the area, you know, it's
watching
LA
it
and everything else. There's plenty of crime in major cities and stuff like that. But there's
wasn't
always going to be a bigger fish to fry because it's just like a smaller break-in, like B&E kind of thing. Then you get into like something bigger, you know, there's always a bigger fish kind of deal, kind of is a plausible plot device, I guess.
But what if that didn't happen? Was he just going to stay under that bridge until?
You could, I mean, works in
because he still tried to
Need
get
for
out of the
Speed
bridge and
video
almost
game.
got caught anyways.
But the police are still going to be driving by in sections, in quadrants, looking for him. That's what I'm saying.
But
he didn't get away.
I think that
from
was.
anyways.
I think that was part of his thing, though. I mean, I think, you know, I mean, he had a scanner. It's obviously, you know, this is not his first rodeo.
Yeah.
So I think he knew, or at least he planned it. Like, hey, if they don't see me in X amount of time, something else is going to happen. This is not my end game.
Yeah.
He was super well thought out. Like he timed it to the basketball game and he knew exactly what he needed to do and where he needed to be in different ways to get out of it. So
this whole thing kind of sets up, you know, the next, what I would say, probably the next like 40 minutes of the movie. Just the idea here that you've got this young guy, stunt driver, awesome at escaping the cops and driving getaway vehicles. So we're gonna bounce on to the next part here, which is the slowest part of the movie by far. This movie is a very, very slow burn, which I think can keep people from like getting like totally invested in this, because it just seems like you can, like, you know, not be paying attention to the movie and still come in and be rather thrilled at the end. But it sets up, you know, the major point of the movie. It just is a really kind of boring blah, blah, blah. I will say that I like the idea that Ryan Gosling does not talk very much in this movie. Not because he can't in real life, not because he's a bad actor or anything. I just like the way that when they do that with a character, that like being badass is just, you can just tell. And he's got that sweet ass jacket with the scorpion on the back.
it says enough about him that you don't need him to say words.
Yeah, I'm not messing with the guy with the scorpion on his back, personally. All right, so he goes to work. He works alongside of what is his name? Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston owns a body shop, and he also seems to be setting up the side work at night for the driver, and he also seems to be involved in the Hollywood scene as well. So basically, the driver works completely for Bryan Cranston, maybe more of like a mutual partnership than a employer-employee type.
Like
thing.
a manager.
Yeah, he's a manager.
Yeah, kind of, just sets up work for him.
And an entrepreneur.
as time goes on, Bryan Cranston's character is kind of tired of the work with no real monetary
Payoff.
benefit at the end of the
Yeah.
year. It's like Body Shop's making like $30,000. And then whatever under the table stuff he's making but he's not making a lot of money. His idea is Ryan Gosling will become a stock car racer and be the head of his team, but he doesn't have the type of capital to get a kid in a race car. So he has to reach out to a buddy of his that obviously is a loan shark and is going to give him, what was it, like $100,000, but at like 75% interest or something, like
It
something
was like
outrageous.
400. I think it was like 400 grand.
He asked for 420 and he
Yeah.
winds up with 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 400 for, and he was like, "I'll give you that at like 90%." It had the Shark Tank moment, if you will.
Yeah.
400,000 for 90%, and he's like, "No." And it's like 375 or something for 70 something.
Quickly
like
get the idea that that organized crime is involved here. Also, there's Nino, who is played by who's that human gorilla?
Perlman.
I can't think of his name.
Ron Perlman. That's
Ron
Ron
Perlman.
Perlman.
Fucking knew that.
Ron Perlman. And Ron Perlman plays Nino, who Nino seems like he is just like a bad dude. He's mean, he's kind of a bully to everybody, and immediately sets the pace for him being a major cock in this movie. The shark doesn't seem too bad of a guy, to be honest with you.
He's kind of like neutral,
He's got a code
but
too.
like
Yeah.
he's
But I mean, he's nice to Bryan Cranston. He's nice to the driver. He seems like a nice criminal.
yeah.
He's
Good at
a
schmoozing.
businessman.
He's a schmoozy businessman. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He likes the business side more of the crime side, I guess. I don't know, but he's,
Whatever's benefit.
Which I gotta say, I don't know if you guys know that guy. It's Albert Brooks. Mostly comedies.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks. So seeing him in that kind of role, only time I've ever seen him play a bad guy, a heavy, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
He did good.
So in setting up this whole idea that Bryan Cranston wants to go clean and be a driver, and then the Mr. Brooks guy there, the loan shark guy, he kind of wants to have his name on a car, and this whole like famous things. They can kind of leave this life of crime thing on the back burner or out completely. Ryan Gosling also has a life outside of that. He has an apartment. His next door neighbor is a cute little gal with a kid. The kid's probably like 7 or 8, maybe younger than that. The gal's got to be like 25, 28. I don't know, but she's cute, kind of mousy. And obviously they are attracted to each other. One is Ryan Gosling, so he looks pretty handsome. And he kind of takes an interest in the child at first, but I mean, it's obviously he kind of likes her, but things go on. They are spending some time together. She lets him know that my husband, the father of my child, is getting out of prison like in 2 days. Go ahead.
I want to point out that when they first meet and they're in the car, she tells him the father of my child. So I'm not sure she was super interested in the father of her child, because if she was romantically involved and committed to that man, she would have said my husband, but she didn't mention that. I'm like, out of the few words that they managed to say, because that was one of the most painful parts of this for me, was just watching them stare at each other without saying anything. Like, I was like, you guys are really dragging your ass about this. And then when she finally does, it's to let you know that I completely misled you, and he's coming home, and we're going to pretend like this never happened.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, they had like a supercharged moment.
You don't
Well,
say
moments.
Right.
father of my child and like reach across and hold his hand and bullshit.
He took that. Ryan Gosling drives him down to like the Streetwater runoff creek.
He starts
and like they're
running
skipping
errands for
rocks.
them. Like he takes a genuine interest in her child, and they form a bond. And
Yeah, it really seems like they're about to have like a real moment get together. I mean, and then
somehow
Exactly.
only saying two words.
Yeah.
Like who knows?
It's my type of relationship.
I mean,
No, it's not
in
because he married me.
in fairness, though, I think we would all just sit there and stare at Ryan Gosling. If we were
Absolutely.
across, a couple
Yeah,
of
you don't
feet.
need words,
What does the man got to say? I mean, he's one of the most beautiful men in the world. But I don't know. I think maybe she was just leaving herself open. Like he's getting out of prison. She wasn't expecting it. Maybe she's like, hey, he'll never get out of prison.
He wasn't
And I've
supposed to
got
get
Ryan
out that
Gosling.
early because there was that whole.
Well, she said
scene
the
with
lawyer
phone
called.
call.
So
Yeah,
this
from a
was
lawyer.
Not, yeah.
Whereas
This was
like
not expected.
all of a sudden, he's up for parole or whatever.
I don't know. Did they ever say what he's in
He
jail
Didn't have enough
for?
time to divorce him.
I don't think they mentioned what he was in jail for. I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
That I
but
can
we see the
recall.
criminal activity he was involved in with these new people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a
Um,
quick question. At this point, do you think Ryan Gosling's character has been in prison himself? That's why he's not as affected by that reveal? Or do you think he knows that he's a badass and he could take care of himself?
I don't think so. I don't think he'd been in prison. I think
No,
he's just used to being around the criminal element. So it's like whatever. I mean, all right. That's just my take.
Yeah.
Get away from driver for hire. So
That's what I was asking.
He's like, I do bad shit for a living sometimes too,
Yeah.
But he's super clean.
He himself is a criminal.
He works super hard to keep himself squeaky, so he doesn't end up in prison.
That, and he also has the ability to.
Also, he's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and he's beautiful. So that gets you a
He
lot.
can't go to prison.
That
he
white
can't go to
privilege
prison.
goes a long way.
And being able to flip the violent switch like he does, I think that also kind of.
That's the sexiest part about him. Kidding.
I mean,
Wow.
The difference between like, oh yeah, I'll fight anybody at any point in time versus, oh yeah, I'll fight somebody and then I'll stab him with a coat hanger or something. Like, okay, that's crazy. And when you're that off the wall, I think that like people being in prison and shit really doesn't bother you. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But would he, light you on fire and then put you out with an ice pick? So
Vivid.
I did want to say something though about that when he's like hanging out with that kid and stuff. Ryan Gosling's sitting on the couch with him, and they're watching cartoons, and he's like, "Who's that guy?" Right. One of the few things Ryan Gosling says in this movie is, and the kid's like, "He's a bad guy." He's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Well, he looks bad." And Ryan Gosling says, "What? There are no good sharks?" And the kid's like, "No." And I thought that was kind of funny because like the scene before, they had just gotten that money from the shark, and it made it seem like he's a real nice guy, because I'm still talking about how nice I thought
that was an obvious metaphor. There was
it was I thought it was very good, and I picked up on it. And I was like, give myself a star for that day. I'm seeing things. So the husband is played by
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, and he gets out of jail. Say again.
I just said Poe. Sorry. Mumbling.
So
It's a mumble.
Moon Knight.
He gets out of jail, and that night they're having a party at the apartment next door to Ryan Gosling's. Nothing crazy. It's a little loud. There's people in there. Blah blah blah. Welcome home. Criminal element. Gosling has a little short interaction with him, and I thought that was going to be like the movie there. Like that was going to be, they were going to have issues with each other.
Right. That's
because it seems like there is definitely like he knows that he's like, my kid takes a real shine to you. How much have you been around?
Yeah.
But daddy's back, so back up, son. So
Got
You
him
kinda
with
think
hair
that's
time is
all
pretty
over him.
ambiguous too
But-
in this movie, like most others.
But also at the
So-
same time, kids get him alone and they'll reveal anything. Like, hey, has mommy had any sleepovers? And he would have been like, yeah, and stuff like that. So he knew there's information there that he knew.
Yeah. Well, so Oscar Isaac, that character, what is his name? Superior.
Standard.
or
Standard.
something? Standard.
Standard.
He just had to show a force, let him know that he was back home and whatever was going on can't go on any longer in that way. But so I thought that was not a terrible way. It was very realistic.
So, you now have Ryan Gosling living next door to a girl he's interested in, a kid that he enjoys being around, and now her ex-felon husband is back in the picture. Yada, yada, yada. Things happen in the movie, blah, blah, blah. Driver pulls up into his apartment complex, pulls in, and he sees a couple of street toughs hanging out in the parking garage, and immediately his antenna go up. He senses something's wrong. Starts to go towards his apartment. He sees Oscar Isaac's character beat pretty badly, and in front of his child. The criminals apparently told Standard, Oscar Isaac, that the $2,000 that he owed to organized crime for protection in jail has now gone from 4 to 8 to 12. And I believe now it's like, was he like 20 grand, 40 grand? Something ridiculous.
Exponential of some sort.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So in the few days that he's been out of jail, they have already contacted him for this money that they are going to get out of him, either cash or he has to pull a job. If he refuses either of those, they are going to kill the child and driver's neighbor lady, Oscar Isaac's wife.
Yeah.
This sends Ryan Gosling's character into a friggin' white hot fury. The intensity on his face when he tells him that, and then he goes and talk. In fact, I think he didn't even get to talk to Oscar. He walks right past him and goes straight to that little kid, and then comes back and talks to him. He is livid. Heads are presumably going to roll when it comes down to it. He tells Oscar Isaac that, hey, I do shit too. I drive. Hook me up with your guy. Let's do this. You can do this job. I don't even want any money. Get this shit done. Get out of it, and protect your wife and kid. Very noble thing for the driver to do. Oscar Isaac introduced him to his with like Slovenian buddy or something. I don't know, some Eastern Euro guy.
Yeah.
Right? Some slime ball. And basically tells him, like, we're keeping the money. Oscar Isaac's character's getting no money. Driver's getting no money. And Christina Hendricks is going to be your honeypot sort of character. Is that what she was supposed to be?
Yeah, I think so. Some degree of that.
Okay.
Like, she's a distraction.
I had read about this movie, and the director had wanted to put a porn star in her place as more of a honeypot character, but he couldn't find any of them that could act worth a shit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny that then they would.
They only got to do one thing, and they got to do it great.
Those lines are tough,
Yeah. I mean, there's only like 6 people in this whole movie, right?
Yeah, it's like a dozen if that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Counting extras.
They're all pretty talented and well known now, especially.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, even Christina Hendricks, who was in the movie all of 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
I mean, she went on to do like it with Mad Men or something. She's had a lot of work. But anyway, so the job is a pawn shop. Driver's going to go there. 5 minutes, they get in, they get out. They got to follow the rules. I mean, it's still the rules. And get to the car, get out of there. Everybody's happy. Standard gets to take care of his wife and kid, be out of the business, and Driver gets to, well, hopefully continue his career as a stock car racer in the future.
Yeah.
Keep his secret love safe.
Now, of course, botched crime. This always seems to happen in these types of movies. Something goes wrong, and then action ensues.
Yeah. He broke his own rule because he had personal investment into the success of this mission, which was kind of the issue of him initially not wanting to do it, I think. And then he's like, all right, well, you know, for the kid and everything else, I'll do it. But that's, you know, that's it kind of thing. And
That second car drove up.
yeah.
But even through that, his connection, it's not what caused it to go awry. You know, it didn't go off the
Right.
rails.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
as Driver's waiting for both of these folks to come out. Christina Hendricks emerges first. She's got a big black duffel bag, climbs in the car. They continue to wait for Standard.
Yo, she robbed that pawn shop in heels.
Yeah. Well, see, that's I think she was dressed like that because she was the honeypot type character, or that part of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't in there like Bonnie and Clyde in this thing. I think she was in there just to be, you know, a distraction. And then the real muscle Standard comes in there and does his.
Still be a honeypot and some comfortable sneakers if you need a run, just in case. Even
because anybody that's noticing Christina Hendricks is looking at her feet. I want to throw that out there.
Something could still happen where she needs to run.
I've worn heels and they're on.
Wear flats.
Look.
We just had a whole franchise of Bryce Dallas Howard, who's also a ginger, outrunning everything in heels and other ridiculous footwear.
Raptors.
It's, you know, yeah, right. Come on.
There's a point there.
So as they're waiting for Standard to come out of the pawn shop, or when he does eventually emerge, he's walking by a window, a shot rings out, and it looks like he got shot in the neck. Right? As he's like going down for the count, somebody comes out of the pawn shop and they shoot him like 4 more times in the back. He's obviously dead. Ryan Gosling is like, son of a bitch. Gets in the car, takes off with Christina Hendricks in the back. She's screaming, going crazy. And they've got a car chasing them. Awesome car chase happens. There's some reverse driving. There's like e-braking and downshifting, all the things you want to see in a sweet car chase. Especially a movie called Drive.
Drive, yeah.
Question.
Eventually, go ahead.
Can that Chrysler keep up with that GT?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm not a
that's
car guy.
There's, you know, I think it's the 2011 Mustang, so it's the GT with the Coyote motor. It's got about 420 horse, and then you have the Chrysler 300. It's the, can't remember if it was the SRT model or not, but it would been similar horsepower if it was the SRT model. If it was just a regular 300 with the V8, it's got 325, 350 horse. So I mean, they're pretty close. They're both V8s and gearing and all that. So
you're also missing that obviously it can because it was scripted as such. So
that too, plot device and all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Obviously, Ryan Gosling escapes with Christina Hendricks, or the movie would be over right there. But we still got more, folks. This movie gets intense fast.
It ramps up, at this point.
I mean, like right at this scene, like, I mean, this isn't the height of the intensity, but the movie being such a slow burn when all this starts to go down. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a heart pumping action. Maybe that's what they would call it on the marquee or something.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling takes Christina Hendricks' character, Blanche is her name, to a hotel. and he knows that there's something. Where the second car come from? How did how did this get so botched?
Yeah, who knew?
And
Yeah.
she's playing coy, doing the typical honeypot. I don't bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, this is where you get a first real taste of the type of person that Ryan Gosling can be in this movie. He slides those fingerless driving gloves on, and like anytime he's taking them off or putting them on in this movie, he's about to, he's about to drive fast, or in this case,
Slap a hoe.
possibly perform some domestic violence on a lady. And he puts these gloves on, and he makes it very, very clear to her as he throws her onto the bed, smacks her in the face, and then like covers her entire face with his hand, that if she doesn't start coming clean, he is going to hurt her very badly. And again, he's so intense with his face that she instantly believes him. Plus, I mean, he was giving her the face squeeze of death.
Yeah.
She lets him know that it's like $1 million. And the whole thing was that they were robbing that place, and then they were going to get robbed, I guess, to like kind of do like some sort of like criminal money laundering. Not like money laundering like we know it, but the criminal way where you just constantly steal from each other and then make fake heists, fake stick-ups and things like that. Mm-hmm. So now, and we've got Mr. Chris joining us late today. So as soon as he gets in here, we can kind of jump
Get his
back
hot
in.
take.
Hello, Chris.
Are you on scene 1, act 2 still? Did you read
Deep
everyone's
dive.
lines?
We actually did a round table, and I played Christina Hendricks' character.
I have a take on her.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to this breaking point here on this thought. All right, so now that Blanche has spilled the beans on what was really going down with this whole stick up, hold 'em up thing, Ryan Gosling, the driver, now has a lead to go off of on exacting his revenge, because now a child has to grow up without a father, and that really irks him. He is not happy about it. Okay, Christina Hendricks, you've got 25 seconds.
Let's see. What do you have to add that we had to edit?
The director wanted a porn star for this role.
Oh, we already said that.
Oh, okay, but he wanted somebody with acting talent and got her, and then she has 3 lines and was in the movie for 8 seconds. Porn star could have done that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, good. All right. So the lead for figuring out how this thing got so effed up is this slimy Eastern Euro dude. And I can't think of what his name is in the movie, but he hangs out at the strip club, and we get our first frontal nudity. I didn't write down the exact time. I usually do in these situations, but not this one. While in there, he makes that dude swallow. What?
When we were watching, I was like, "Titty!"
No, she told me to turn away, I think.
And to not look. I'm allowed to look. Adam's not.
So he beats the brakes off of this guy, threatens to kill him, whatever, and tells him to call Nino, because he knows that he works for Nino now. And Nino, being Ron Perlman's character, like I said, was a big old dickhead bully. But now he's got the target of the driver on his ass. And, he's like, you can have the money, leave everybody alone. Nobody wants Sam. So now we've got the driver wanting to get Nino and the rest of them. That's his goal now, is to figure this whole thing out. He also knows that the kid was a target, and the wife was a target, and he's not having that, and so he has to like, I don't know, it was like tie up like loose ends, I guess, with the bad guys, or they'll continue to like go after it's $1 million, and everyone knows in every single crime movie, $1 million is like the exact amount of money that will cause them to send like hitmen after you, chase you to Utah. You know, they'll do anything to get this $1 million. Anybody care to add anything in? Want to jump in?
Both of those characters, like Ryan Gosling's character and Oscar Isaac's character, they're both just trying to get on the right side of crime. Like they're like, this is the last job either of us will ever have to do, because he's about to be a stock car driver and Oscar Isaac's just got to pay off this dumb debt. So it's like doubly frustrating, because he's like, if I can still end this job and I can still get his family clean and I can go back to my plan and be clean again.
It's so weird that like Ryan Gosling doesn't even seem like he's like jealous about this whole thing or feels he was misled or led on, or anything. At least he doesn't like, I guess maybe he did feel like that, but he just seems to be like just a really nice guy the whole time.
An incredibly empathetic soul.
Doing everything
sure
for the right reasons.
He's been in that situation before of some degree, like meet somebody nice, you know, that's has, you know, extenuating circumstances with, you know, another man, whether it's baby daddy or whatever the situation is, and you know, it's good as long as it serves them mutually, but the circumstances change. He's not getting overly invested to have it slow him down, because he's still with a purpose, you know.
I think he had a healthy love, because he respected her enough and loved her enough to not be an asshole about the whole situation. And I think if you have an unhealthy love, you would be an asshole about that situation. You know what I mean? You would not want to help. You would not want to. He still cares enough about her that he wants her life to be better, even if it is without him.
All good points. I'd like to go back. I think that dude's name is Cook that got the shit beat out of him. And the thing was, he beat the shit out of him in front of these strippers, and they didn't flinch. And I wrote here,
I loved it.
Strippers did not flinch, like they were enjoying Ryan beat Cook. I love calm titties. I don't know. They just sat there, they hung out, and you just got to stare at the scenery. And I was like, I said, man, they're just fucking sitting there, like they were expecting this to happen at some point.
At some point, yeah. I
This
noticed
has
They were
literally
like,
happened
yep,
before.
tonight's the night, girls. I told you, we're gonna sit here and enjoy it.
like they're gonna the pot. It was like, who won the pot?
Because they looked
Right.
kind of bored too. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was just thinking. I was like, I think he did actually care for these people, so it didn't bother him, because he knows, like, you know what? I'm Ryan Gosling. She's going to leave Oscar Isaac. I don't care how talented he is on the piano and guitar and shit. He's like Esteban, Mr. Renaissance Man in his real life. We understand that, and he's amazing, but not in this movie.
He's
And I
just
didn't buy it.
standard. His name is standard.
Yeah.
Just a standard Candle, and
I don't think
she was probably going to leave him.
by accident.
But I did want to bring up the first time that he took her back to the apartment and
From the grocery store?
basically said no words, just stood there looking at him, giving him that look, you know, like, you could have it if you want it, Ryan. And then she sat down, and I'm surprised she didn't slide out of the chair. I mean, after the way she looked at him, I said, that's amazing. She kept her posture somehow.
Yeah.
And I noticed, did you talk about Albert Brooks in this movie?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Herschel did.
It's a
Yes.
different role for old Albert Brooks.
We have to
and he
redo
shaved-
the whole movie now that you're here, I guess.
Nah, he shaved his eyebrows, so he said I could look more like a bad guy or whatever. But the no eyebrow thing, I was like, I thought of that, doing that. You know, I thought of this years ago. Shave my eyebrows and put that picture on dating sites. And I didn't do
Don't
it.
think so, dude.
The idea was
Like a
there.
Thumb.
Sorry, I'm all caught up with everything I wrote, though.
You should
for
do that. You really should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should fucking do that.
Yeah, and then that guy in fucking Barry, he's doing
I'll
it.
swipe right.
Yep. Thank you, Herschel.
You're welcome.
Doesn't even know what swipe right means.
Now, I don't know exactly at what point in the movie. Okay, so Driver's now decided that he's going after Nino. Nino also is going to go after the driver. So he sends an associate of his to go visit the driver at his apartment. We're all very familiar with what that means in crime movies. It's probably going to be a fight. So there they are in the you got Ryan Gosling speaking to the gal, and what is her name?
Carrie Mulligan.
Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah.
Carrie Mulligan. She is there, and they're talking in the hallway, and this gentleman that Nino sent shows up in the elevator and goes, oops, wrong floor. And the girl walks into the elevator, and Ryan Felipe is like, something does not smell right. People don't dress like that and walk into this apartment on the wrong floor. I mean, geez, come on, guy, put a t-shirt and jeans on or something. Try to blend in. You can't go in there wearing a $1,200 suit and not expect somebody like Ryan Gosling not to catch on this. Now, this scene in the elevator was
it was the healthy love that Sabrina was talking about.
This was I loved this whole thing.
I love elevator scenes. That if they ever bring you in an elevator in a movie, something just interesting on some level is going to be happening.
Captain America beats up all of Hydra,
and especially the ride from the 4th floor taking all of 7 minutes. I was like, that's a long elevator ride.
It's an old. There's a guy you don't see that's pulling the rope.
While in this elevator, Ryan Gosling does an ocular pat down on this hitman.
Say ocular pat down.
Gave an ocular pat down, and he clocked a gun in his waist.
Great.
Then the movie goes into slow motion.
Yeah.
The lighting gets really, really dark and only on the girl. Ryan Gosling sweeps around in a motion and
the smoothest motion, the smoothest
and plants a
move.
very, very passionate kiss on her face.
No,
and the whole thing is very beautiful, and it lasts quite a while because it's in slow motion. It's just like you kind of feel it. You get to hear the song and the lighting, and you're like, "Oh shit, he made a really good move here." And then kind of breaks. He then grabs the dude's gun out of his waist. They tussle for what was all of a half a second, and then he stomps his head completely off of his body. Yeah. I am not saying he stomped on him, and he smashed his head into a puddle. He stomped him into a puddle.
Some good
instantly goes from, I guess, this heartthrob kind of, oh, love will prevail, to a complete, almost like turning into a werewolf or something. I just instant turned into a monster and stomps this guy's head off of his body. And she kind of looks at him and is like, holy ball sack. I can't believe what I've just seen here.
Yo, I couldn't love somebody that just stomped somebody's fucking head off.
And I guess I kind of gloss over this is a very violent part of it. This is the most violent part of the movie by far the most violent part. But up until this point, I didn't think that there was going to be a more violent part than Christina Hendricks getting her fucking head blown off by a shotgun.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is all of, it's very, very graphic. I mean, her head gets completely blown out of the side of her head. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, this is, I didn't think they were going to be able to top that. And then they do this thing where he stomps his head into mush. So there's that. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? They want to talk about that elevator scene? Did anybody else like it as much as I did? I'm sure that everybody in the whole everyone that's seen the movie is probably like, yeah, dumbass. That's the fucking best part of the movie.
I liked it. He accomplished so much in those couple minutes by he got his confession of love out loud. He kept her safe, And he also knew what he was about to do was going to be super dangerous. Even after the elevator, he knew what he was going to do. So he knew there's a good chance that he's not going to get to do that ever again. So he was like, I gotta let the lady know how much I love her, and I gotta kiss her real good at least once. So I was really cool. And yeah, that's it.
I think he professed his love, and then he confessed to her. He's like, now you know what I really do. This is who I am. It's a life I lead. Not like Herschel.
His passion went directly into that head smashing. He was like all fired up from that passionate kiss, and he just directed that energy elsewhere into that guy's brains.
I'm not saying he doesn't care. Obviously, he cares. I think, because I did read somewhere that there was more dialogue in the movie, but Gosling cut out a lot of it, to make it a little more mysterious. And I think it winds up, he's just a very socially awkward guy, and he's surrounded by not nice people because he wants to be, and he's in the movies, which is fake. So I think he's just a very socially awkward. I don't even know that he was trying to profess his love as much as it was just, hey, I need to distract everybody from what's getting ready to happen.
That's
not that he didn't care. I think it was just, hey, look, this is the best distraction I can come up with in this slow ass elevator ride. And yeah, it is an awesome scene. We were sitting there watching it, and I told Patrice, I said that would never work. Like, even if I could, pull off the arm motion, you would immediately just start going, stop. What are you doing? Don't push me. What are you trying to do? But yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think he's just that awkward. Just that kind of weird, socially awkward guy.
Yeah, he's definitely weird.
So,
anybody else have any hot takes? Moving on then.
Yeah, I want to move on because after this is kind of like, this is where I was getting lost in the movie because of that. It's like, okay, is she going to fucking be mad at him because he just turned that dude's head into soup, like you say? Or I was waiting to see where it went after this.
The next scene, we've discovered that Bryan Cranston's character, the almost father-like business manager relationship that they have, is now turning sour. Cranston has admitted that he told Nino and other guy, the loan shark guy, that Driver's only in it because he likes the girl. So now they know. Now he knows that, or Cranston has told everybody else that. So they all know the easiest way to get to this dude is to attack the girl. And now it's on for real. So Driver starts his whole process of figuring out how he's going to get to Nino, and Nino's throwing a party at his pizzeria, and there's ladies in there, and there's other dudes that look like they were extras in like Dick Tracy or something, just like greasy haired Italian suit guys, and they're all kind of eating pizza and drinking wine and whatnot, having a good Italian party.
Can we talk about, because I think it's Sabrina's favorite part, is how they're eating Chinese food at the beginning inside the.
I thought that was super funny.
This is this mega power move to bring Chinese food to your buddy's restaurant and just
eat Chinese food in here.
I was like, that
and
shows some balls.
And get mad that they don't have fortune cookies.
Yeah.
I guess I did kind of gloss over an important part of this movie, though. The loan shark also knows that Nino's involved in this botched crime, and he wants to know why. And it turns out that since the movie takes place in L.A., the organized crime on the East Coast was starting to move into L.A., and Nino doesn't like that because he's a Jewish gentleman that wants to be an Italian mobster. He's Italian Jewish, I believe, but they still treat him like he's
second rate
boss or whatever, or associate or however it goes. If you've seen enough Italian organized crime movies, I think that that's kind of very clear how that works.
Yeah.
Herschel, did you have something? Oh, okay. I thought you gave me the sign. And Nino doesn't want this. Like, no, I can't be a part of the family. They treat me like a little kid. I'm 50 years old. They still pinch my cheeks. But
I did. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, man. Just
no,
really
absolutely
quick,
not.
because I just thought it was like I got a kick out of it, because you're at the part where Gosling is coming and watching this weird, good call there with the Dick Tracy party in his full head, great value Vin Diesel makeup.
I did put that on. That was super creepy.
Which, just kind of goes back to the whole he's just awkward and doesn't know how to interact. But I did really like the Albert Brooks just going ham on that guy, stabbing him in the eye, and then just killing the cook, the Eastern European guy, and then telling Ron Perlman, now you get to clean up after me. I thought that was great. Like, I absolutely love that.
Albert
part.
Brooks plays Bernie. Is his name
Bernie?
Bernie and Nino are both older organized crime dudes. With it looks like, I guess Bernie's probably in charge, and Ron Perlman is a secondary boss. Bernie's not his boss, I guess, but they're definitely not partners either. It doesn't seem, but maybe they both working towards the same goal of making money. I don't know, but they realize they have to clean up this whole thing, or the guys on the East Coast are going to kill everybody. And so they've got to get rid of
from like the family or something.
Yeah. So this $1 million actually comes from the East Coast crime lords, and Bernie and Nino realize they've got to get rid of. They've already gotten rid of Oscar Isaac. He's done. Christina Hendricks is out of the picture. They got to get rid of this gal. They got to get rid of this kid. They've got to get rid of the driver, and they sure got to get rid of this Eastern European trash ball sitting here sucking down a pizza slice, and he gets it pretty bad. But yeah, Bernie does kill Cook and tells Nino to clean up after me for once. So that is pretty awesome. Now, that mask and stuff that driver puts on, is it like a special stunt driver, like almost like helmet mask?
No,
thing
it was
like,
the
or is
it
it
was
just
the stunt.
fake
It
skin
was the
to look
stunt
like
double mask he did from the stunt
From
when
earlier.
he rolled the police car and when he was working the legit job.
The guy he was doubling is probably bald, so like when they're filming from behind, it just looks somewhat like whoever he's doubling for.
Yeah.
Joe, I wrote he puts on this say the stunt double for Sloth in the Goonies mask to go kill Nino, but still wears a scorpion jacket. So it's like, I'm going to put on this disguise, but got the old jacket on.
See, and I thought that, and even when I at the beginning of the movie, when he had put that mask on to do that stunt for that movie, I thought it might have had like extra protection or padding or something in there from the wreck, and that's why he put it on. And I thought he was going to go in there and just start slaughtering people in that pizza shop, but he didn't. And then now we get the third drive scene where there's more reverse. There's lights being turned off in the nighttime and scaring people. But he's wearing that mask the whole time, and it really has nothing to do with concealing his identity because no one even gives a shit at this point that he's going to do this, I guess. But still, it made it very creepy and very like awkward that he was wearing that it's like a weird ass mask the whole time.
Well,
He's
can I
still
say
trying
something?
to maintain his anonymity a little bit.
Say something about his the mask choice. I don't know if it was for disguising, but he's just been wearing this blood-stained white scorpion jacket just everywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping him.
Like,
Nobody's
nobody
like,
looks at this jacket and goes, you okay, buddy?
yeah.
Well, look at the engineers and the deck seamen from the ship. They wore the same utilities for.
Something wrong there, buddy? You got grease dripping out of
No,
your
we all said something though.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, we got laundry machines and shit.
Yeah.
You're allowed to bathe.
You're on the mess decks. Wash your hands.
We're not on water hours. We haven't been. We're in port.
Okay. So he basically driver uses his car, smashes up Nino's car and the driver that he's with, and kind of drags Nino, or pushes Nino's car off a cliff and goes down, drags Nino's limping body, crawling body through the sand, and takes him to, I guess, right where the waves are breaking, and puts him down right there. Not particularly violent. It wasn't. I was kind of disappointed, I guess, that everybody else died such a violent death, and this guy gets this.
Well,
And Nino was like the biggest prick in the movie, by the way.
right,
I mean,
but he needed to suffer. I think a little bit more was part of it.
yeah, not like the face kicked inside out.
With Ron Perlman's lower jaw, how many fish do you think he ate as he was drowning? Like pelican, like just getting lost in lower gullet. Was it a gullet? What is it called? That the pelicans
Yeah, I think it's a
have?
gullet. But I mean, the fish can see Ron Perlman though too, so they might have been deterred. So
it took longer to drown him, I would say, because of that extra gullet.
Yeah,
that was an ugly man.
Or it took less because that mouth is so big.
Yeah, I was like, he just took it in faster, less pain.
Yeah, like a shark.
Yeah. As water filled his gullet, it created an air pocket that he was able to into.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog in the underwater scenes.
Yeah,
exactly like that.
Oh.
All right, so now the body count and character. So the only characters in this movie that are alive at this point in time, we've got Driver, we've got the girl, her child, and we've got Bernie. So if anyone's keeping track, if Bernie's going to win, he's got to kill Driver and then easily dispatch this woman and child.
Oh,
and,
you didn't talk about him killing the.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a really nice kill.
Yeah, it was. Again, all sharks are bad, but I forgot. I didn't even bring that up. When Driver finds out Cranston basically gave up all of his personal information, sold him out. He tells Cranston, "Oh, you got to get out of here. Like they're going to kill everyone. That you have to leave tonight."
Yeah.
Cranston does attempt to do that. Bernie catches him at the auto shop. They have a very beautiful conversation. Cranston tries to tell him that the Driver drove to Mexico or Belize or something. He's gone. Bernie doesn't believe him and slits Bryan Cranston's wrist with a straight razor. And basically, he's like, it's over with. Lay down. It'll be over soon. Painless. The end. So Cranston's also dead.
And the money was mere inches away from.
Like, if he had known that the money was right there, he could have just handed it over.
Yeah.
It could have been done, potentially.
So after the death of Nino.
Nice kill.
It was.
He put that razor blade back in his little knife treasure chest that he had.
Yeah.
It was really pretty.
Driver calls Bernie. I'll give you the money. Everybody. It's not even important. Just everybody gets out. He has still maintained the same deal with the money the whole time. Like,
he never cared about it. Yeah.
Just take it and just let everybody else go. I mean, it means nothing. Like, everyone can be done with this. Just take the money and go. He then Bernie agrees to meet him at the Wuhan Palace or something noodle store where they're going to make the exchange. Driver calls up Irene, Carey Mulligan, and tells her that where he's going, there's no coming back, and some of the effect of, like, enjoy your life, get out, blah, blah, blah. Driver goes to meet Bernie. Bernie lets him know the girl and the child are safe. no matter what the outcome here, or something like, give me the money, the girl and the child are safe. You, on the other hand, will spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, no matter what happens here.
Yeah.
Whether you leave or you give me the money, my people will kill you. Adam, go ahead.
I understand that this is a film, Herschel, but why is that? Why do they have to feel the need to tell the protagonist that even if you give the money, you're still gonna die? Like, if I were a bad guy, I would keep my mouth shut and be like, receive the money and then decide his fate.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't have a good answer for that, because this is really the only problem I have with the whole movie is this last 2 minutes. This last 2 minutes is really the only problem I have with the whole thing. But maybe it plays into the whole, he's kind of a nice, despicable person, and he just wants him to know, look, man, I know you want this all to be over, but it's not going to be.
But up to this point, for you. At this point, like, Ryan Gosling's character has killed the whatever second in command or whatever Nino was. What makes you think that he's not going to put up a fight till the bitter end? Like, let's just get this $1 million and then figure out what you're going to do.
Well, Bernie's character seems about like he doesn't want to deal with this much mess either. So he's just letting him know, because he's also seemingly a very merciful person.
No, he definitely threatened his life. He said, you're the...
But he wants it to be done as cleanly and as quickly as possible. So he's letting him know. He's like, you can try to get away if you want to.
That's fine. But up until this point, Ryan Gosling has been murdering all of his henchmen. Why let him know that he's going to be hunting? Let's just get the money. And then if he still wants to kill him when he's least expected. Now, don't give him a heads up.
Hopefully that separates Bernie enough that that driver doesn't kill Bernie.
No, you're threatening his life. Like, if Herschel was like, give me $10 and I'm still going to kill you, I might kill Herschel and not give him $10.
Oh, and I'll tell you this, Herschel. Nobody carries $10 anymore. Nobody has an old sawbuck in the old pocket.
That's true.
Everybody's got debit cards before you kill Adam for $10. All right.
Venmo me $10 and then I might kill Herschel.
Yeah, I don't want to steal Joe's thunder, but because I know he's about to wrap this thing up, and we'll have the opportunity.
I glossed over a lot of stuff, man.
No. Yeah, but it's the end. I figure you're going to talk about the very end.
Oh yeah, don't steal my thunder.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying. That's my only problem
exactly what he just said.
with the whole movie is that last 2 minutes.
I agree with you as well that the last 2 minutes of the movie seemed awfully fast. So anyway, Ryan Gosling driver goes to the Wushu Noodle Palace, and
different every time.
While he is, that's when Bernie tells him, no matter what, where's the money? Driver tells him the car. They go out to the car, trunk gets popped. Bernie, being the not so decent criminal that we all kind of thought, really shows his they're no good sharks side and stabs driver in the upper
goes to the gut
rib area.
Yeah.
Driver pulls out a knife and then stabs Bernie in the neck. And
that's it.
Bernie dies, and driver is stabbed. And if you watch this movie, there's so many times when it's just like super silent and like nobody say anything. It's just like a face. And then you're like, okay, that's about 5 seconds. How long can they possibly drag this out? Then it's like 20 seconds. You're like, okay, someone's got to breathe or say something. And you're under the impression that possibly driver has died of these wounds. But then he blinks and drives away from Bernie's dead body. And next to Bernie's dead body is the bag full of money.
Yeah.
Even after all this is said and done, the money is still not even a thing he's interested in.
Well, it was bad karma too. Like, this money has created nothing but problems. The best thing I can do is distance myself from this bad luck charm.
Yeah. And based off the phone call he had with Irene, like I'm going to a place where I can't come back from, and he means it. He did not go back at all. Was the last scene of the movie when she goes and knocks on his door and no one answers?
He's Ryan Gosling. He is aware of the
Somewhere in
effect
there.
on women. He's got millions of women in any town he goes to. Once he flips that hair over and he gives that little bit of smile. He used to play defensive back for the TC William Titans football team.
Yeah, because he was a liability on offense.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my only the end. The end sucked. It's kind of it falls into the go ahead, Alan.
It needed a bathroom self-first aid scene. That's what it was missing.
Yeah. A bit of The Fugitive, so Dr. Richard Kimball sewing himself up,
I liked the ending. I thought it was good. I wish that it was maybe a little more. The movie's 100 minutes long.
Yeah, it's short for a slow burn, which is interesting.
Yeah, because the slow burn was even kind of, like I said, it was only like 40 minutes or something, and then the rest of it was just they maybe it's longer than that, but they pounded away on the action scene pretty quickly. Once it really got into the movie, it was over with pretty quickly. But yeah, once Nino was killed, it was kind of like, if you went to the bathroom and came back, the movie it was over with.
It resolves fast. It builds up slow, but resolves fast.
I think that maybe I don't know. Maybe put Tarantino in there for more dialogue or something in the noodle hut. So
I was thinking they should have at least had like the owner of the Wushu restaurant come out in the park. Oh, what the fuck is going on out here? You can't just leave dead body in my parking lot. Why didn't they do something like that to show that he came out there and noticed it? Or because the ending, it kind of just falls in line with like all these great movies that just decided, hey, we have no more budget, hurry up and wrap this shit up. Like The Departed or Gone Girl. Like, oh fuck, we don't have any more money. Just kill everybody and end it. Or just do it. And that's kind of like what happened here. And I didn't enjoy the ending. At least Irene should have said, out of her 4 lines in the movie, should have said, well, where's that at? When he said, I'm going somewhere I can't come back from. She's like, well, where's that? Then you see him on some beach in Belize.
Yeah.
Right. The movie did nobody know that the characters were capable of speaking in full sentences, so maybe the movie itself was not capable of speaking a full sentence.
Well, Carrie Mulligan did state, she says, my role in this movie was to stare longingly at Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
That's it. So but I did write, as I was watching it, I was like, my first thing I wrote, does he have lines? And I was like, 10 minutes in, never mind. I thought this movie was totally different than what I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like some action-packed movie. It was not. I thought it was going to be, oh, he's a fucking badass driver getting away from everything, and he didn't.
Was this your first time watching it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, oh, okay, he doesn't really do these action driving scenes. There's what, 2, maybe 3?
Yeah.
They weren't, they weren't Steve McQueen driving scenes, but I was like, okay, he's just not doing this the whole movie, and there's just action everywhere. And then the soundtrack really surprised me. Try to keep everything calm to show his demeanor throughout the movie, and I was just like,
I wanted to bring that up and give Adam a chance to talk about his thoughts on this, since he has actually bought this on vinyl, which so means that he spent more than couple bucks that a CD would have cost. So your thoughts on this? I mean, you like this enough that you purchased it on vinyl.
And well, Chris has pretty much hit it on the head. It was like the soundtrack was just kept the demeanor of Ryan Gosling's character, where I don't know what type of music that is, but it was the heavy bass with the thumps and everything, a little electronica.
I like that. So
that first intro song, Night Call.
Is that the one they play like 2 or 3 times in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
and it just, and like I said, Chris has pretty much held it. It's his character influenced into the music.
All of it's like just under the surface.
Yeah.
After I picked this movie for us to watch, I was watching an episode of Workaholics, and the characters all go to a convention, or it's like a sales convention kind of thing for the company, and they take acid. And one of them, they ask this gal, like, what do you feel? She's like, I feel like the soundtrack from Drive is constantly playing in my head. And so I was like, okay, well, now I guess that like I have to kind of, when I watched the movie this time, I was like, well, Workaholics brought it up, so I need to pay attention. And I really made an effort. I knew you also had it on vinyl from our conversation last episode, so I wanted to make sure that I paid attention to what was going on.
And especially that first song, I think it's pretty sure it's called Night Call, but like it like, that's like what's going through my head. Like I've had some late nights doing like field service stuff. I don't know if you've done this, Chris, where you're driving out of a big town, all the skyscrapers are behind you. Maybe it's in the evening, the sun is like setting down, and like just that beat is just going through your head. The air is like crisp and cool. It's like it's a really good like driving around. They nailed it for the theme.
Yeah, I was like that one night leaving LA, and I was like, there was no traffic on the 405 going south, and everything was behind me, and like one of the Killers song came on, one of their slow ones or whatever. It was like one of the most relaxing. Like you said, yeah, the air is always cool and crisp down here. But I was like, oh yeah, this is nice and relaxing. And it was nighttime, and I was just flying. I was going about 90, and you never get to do 90 on the 405.
Yeah,
you're usually in between 15 and 25.
Where are the police?
They don't pull you over if traffic is moving. There's like, oh, we've got enough today. They're like, he didn't rob a bank. We don't need to chase him. Trust me, every time I stay in LA, I can turn on the news and I get to watch a car chase.
Oh, okay.
Like, those cops, they just want to break too, man. They don't know. They're like, fuck, traffic's moving, let it fucking go.
Yeah.
Because they know the moment they turn their lights on, people just start hitting their fucking brakes, even though they're not the ones pulled over. It's like, hey, he's already got somebody pulled over. Quit hitting your fucking brakes. He's not going to get you. He's got somebody.
When he walked in, when Ryan Gosling walked into that strip club with the hammer in his hand, I was like, oh shit, here we go, dude. Only because I just seen Blanche get her friggin' left side of her face blown to the right side of her head.
Yeah.
And you never, I'll tell you, like I believe we talked about this in a different movie, maybe the one with the kids in it, the Better Watch Out. Was that the name? I think that was the name of the movie. Where you don't see children getting killed in movies, or was that the most violent woman death I've ever seen in cinema history? I don't know. Maybe by gunshot, maybe.
It was fast.
It is.
Quick. It wasn't gross.
It is not the most violent woman death.
There's
What do you think? It's like something from Dead Alive?
Cabin
No,
Fever, or
no.
Oh, like
No.
a woman getting cut in half, and then not like, I mean, like that was pretty fucking graphic.
Herschel, they need to watch Sleepaway Camp.
I'm not watching Sleepaway Camp. Get this shit out of my life. If you win it on the wheel, I'll watch the movie. But until then, I'm not watching that damn thing. Enough with the Sleepaway Camp.
Homophobe.
Do you guys want to continue to talk about more about this movie and like some of the favorite parts or
I
anything?
just want to talk about Ryan Gosling really quick. Like,
okay.
He just
Bet you do.
he nailed that character, the quiet, like cool guy, tough guy. Like he does that thing in Blade Runner 20 whatever. He's like the same character too, and he
did that one where he drives the motorcycle, and he played like a similar weird character.
It was it was one of those
House in the
disappointing
Pines
movies.
down by the
place on the Pines in a van down by the river.
Yeah, it was a not a great movie.
So like that's what he kept getting hired for at first, was just like the quiet guy.
He does a good job at it.
He wants to be Ghost Rider next.
I mean, it can only. I don't think there's anything you can do with that franchise, really. But I mean, yeah.
It's a
Go for it. You got something to do.
I know Adam hates rom-coms, but Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love has got to be one of the greatest all-time performances of anybody in a movie. And then just Kevin Bacon's small part in that movie makes it funny as many times as they say his name throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Gosling kills it.
I've never seen a movie where I was like, why is Ryan Gosling in this? Like he's a good actor as well as quite handsome. So good for him.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like Drive was like peak, or is like Ryan Gosling starting to peak. Like these really just kind of, he was fairly fresh on the scene, but he was already like a well-established.
I mean, I'd already done The Notebook, and that took everybody took everybody's life over for a minute. If you were a woman, I guess.
Yeah,
I really like The Notebook.
It's a beautiful movie, guys.
It is. It is.
Never
I watched it with my mom once.
The same thing when frickin' A River Runs Through It came out, and everybody was swooning over Brad Pitt. But
that was awesome too.
I'm just saying.
My favorite part of the movie, though. Finish first, Herschel.
No, I was just saying. Ryan Gosling, 2 thumbs up. There you go.
Yeah. My favorite part of the movie, though, is from in the trailer too, is that scene when we first meet Albert Brooks and all. Is like, my hands are a little dirty. It's like,
oh yeah,
so are mine. You kind of get that nice like setup that he's kind of a shady dude too, which is great. And yeah, it's interesting. Like the trailer and everything build the movie like it was Baby Driver before it was Baby Driver.
Yeah.
But we get a totally different movie. And I think it was kind of like overall this film, I think, is like underappreciated for what it is.
I think Baby Driver is the movie I thought this movie was.
Yeah.
I'd never watched this because I'd never watched this movie before. Like I'd only seen the worst part, which is the slow burn part. So I'd seen like the girl need to get picked up or get driven home, and saw all like their dumb romance. And I saw Standard come home from jail, and I was like, oh, this is stupid. And I didn't watch the whole movie. So I only watched the worst part, unfortunately. And I really thought that I was still in the Navy. I think I might have been on deployment for like the 2 weeks. I had done a debt or something like that. Cause I went back in my memories and stuff and tried to think about it. And I was like, I think I was just out at sea for 2 weeks that time. And I just didn't see this movie or care much about it. And yeah, I think it was Baby Driver. And now I have been corrected.
So everybody here has, like I said at the beginning, I watched this movie in probably like 2012, 2013 when it was first on Netflix, and watched it within like the first month and don't remember anything. Like, I don't know what I was doing during this movie the entire time, but I bet that slow burn kind of like made me like go do laundry or something.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, like it was like, and the end.
Yeah. I can see that.
And then it's been 16 hours since I watched it, or I'm sorry, but 26 hours since I watched this movie. And when it starts to ramp up, that, you know, during the picking up Oscar Isaac or whatever, when it starts to get there, I was like, holy shit, what the hell what was I doing? How did I not remember any of this?
Yeah, I don't remember him.
And so it was like watching a brand. I mean, it clearly was, obviously, because I was the entire, like, once that's really kicked in, I was like, you know, I paid for that whole couch, but I only used the very, very edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same thing. I might have, like, I think Adam was probably watching it, and I only saw the slow part, and I walked out of the room and was like, whatever, I'm not watching this, and then missed it.
Yeah, very, very solid stuff. And you'd never seen it before, Chris?
No, I'd never seen it before. I liked it.
Can't wait for their ratings.
Yeah, I got cheated though. If Oscar Isaac is in a movie, I mean, they're having a party to celebrate him coming home. Couldn't he have written a song for the movie? Couldn't he have played the guitar? This man is a musical genius. Went to Juilliard.
I have one general stock car question, and then you can move on to whatever.
Ain't nothing stock.
The tire comment.
Yes.
The what?
So
tire comment.
I'm assuming they're just breaking into like double A, like stock car racing, and so like tire changes aren't a common thing, and so they
No, the tire changes are always a thing. Like, and plus you're not going to run a set of tires for multiple races, even like in a small circuit. Like, you're always going to have a tire sponsorship, and like,
okay.
like it was great too, because I don't know, like a month ago or something, I was listening to Corolla's CarCast, and they're every once in a while they'll bring up like the ridiculous lines and like car scenes of movies. Like, yeah, it's still tread on the tires even. It's like, it's a race car that doesn't have any bearing. Plus you'd be running on slicks.
Yeah.
Race cars don't have tread.
Yeah. And also, like, if you want to dig into anything like that, the scene in John Wick 2 when John Wick 1, when was it 1 or 2 or whatever, when Leguizamo was talking about all the damage done to his Mustang when he finally gets it home. It's ridiculous. The car was not drivable with all those things happen. But yeah.
Oh, well, appreciate it, Andy.
All right. So do you want to get into the rest of the like extra military instruction and all that good stuff?
I'm ready.
All right. So I feel like this movie, Ryan Gosling's jacket was a very iconic part of this movie. Yay or nay on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good.
It's not as good. It's not as good as the old Sylvester Stallone tiger jacket in Rocky 2. Herschel, could you back me up on that?
Well,
This is still pretty nice. Herschel,
I mean, the
go
tiger
ahead.
jacket, it does have more color, you know. But
Less
I'm
blood.
gonna break from the norm and say that Gosling fills that jacket out quite well. I mean, he makes that jacket look good.
I love
There was a
know?
brief explanation of why he wore a scorpion jacket. Or
He did
tried
try to tell that story.
the
He did
scorpion
try
and
to
the
tell that
frog.
story.
Yeah.
The frog helped the scorpion across the river. And the scorpion stings the frog. He's like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "It's in my nature."
Yeah.
Everybody knows that old tale, you know. And like I said, he was trying to. That was why he wore the jacket, I guess.
Is that Rudyard Kipling?
Is it? It might be Yates.
Which is interesting.
Is that
Which
James
is
Joyce?
interesting because in that little tale, the scorpion dies too because he drowns. So,
Yeah.
you know,
He
whatever.
only makes it halfway across the river.
Oh,
That old children's tale from the sea.
You know the one.
You know the one.
yeah, the scorpion, the albatross, all of them.
7 chipmunks sitting on a branch. Eat sunflower
Twirl 'em
seeds in your father's ranch.
What is
All right.
happening?
So in a vein of super iconic cool ass jacket, I wanted the folks here, the crew of Seamen on Film, to tell me their top 5 like maybe like iconic outfits or iconic looks or something of their favorite characters. And let's start with Chris.
Chris, all right. I gotta go with Cobra, Sylvester Stallone. He had the black little jacket with the painted on jeans, the sunglasses, and the match in the mouth.
He looked cool too,
You
didn't he?
noticed the jeans, didn't you?
We all did.
Yeah. Number 4, I gotta go with Smokey and the Bandit. Burt Reynolds, the red shirt and the cowboy hat, and she made a mention of the hat too. He's like, "Do you ever take that hat off?"
For one thing.
Yeah, for one thing.
Old Sally Field, you minx.
Old frog knocks some boots. Number 3, JP. Number 3 is JP and Grandma's Boy. Wore the Matrix look, the duster.
Just the Matrix.
And then I put number 2. I didn't know if this qualified. I asked Herschel. He said, "Yeah." Point Break, the ex-presidents robbing the banks with the tuxedos. They went all out. They weren't wearing anything comfortable, just tuxedos. And
I'll allow it.
I am allergic to latex, and if I put a mask on, it makes my face burn. So
Man.
I can't do it anymore. And then my number 1 is Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh shit.
You know, the old.
Is good. That was on my honorable mention list. Awesome, dude. Good work. Good work. All right, next up, Sabrina.
Oh, okay. I had to throw away my notebook. I'm so sorry, guys. I have first on my list Alicia Silverstone as Cher in Clueless. She wears all of her outfits are amazing, but I think she's best well known for her yellow plaid mini skirt suit.
Standing.
It's pretty great. And because it was on my mind, and very recently was Goose from Top Gun. We all showed up wearing Hawaiian shirts. We all knew what to do. And I was like, well, that's iconic. If everybody knows what to wear and how to pay homage to it, that's got to be it. I've got, I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, but I know Audrey Hepburn's outfit from there.
Yeah.
So that's on my list. How many is it? 1, 2, 3. Then I've got Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element in her little orange suspenders, her barely wearing clothes, but it was pretty iconic outfit. And then
on here.
I guess I need one more. Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover wears the Lone Wolf t-shirt and his man purse satchel thing, and that definitely has made its mark in pop culture. Worthy of mentioning.
Pretty good.
I would like to honorable mention the entire cast of Pulp Fiction, though. Okay, that's it.
The Gimp.
Yeah.
Especially the Gimp.
Especially.
All right. Next up, let's hear from Andy Mattis.
Sure, why not? All right. So
Sure, why not?
yeah, I mean, you have those costumes or looks and everything that are definitive, and like one of the first ones I thought of was Silent Bob. You have like the trench coat,
Oh yeah.
the hat, the backwards movie hat and everything else. Pretty classic. That's what you always see him in the comic book character style of clothes. Another yellow suit, the yellow jumpsuit that Uma Thurman wore in Kill Bill. It was great.
That's the same one that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wore in the Bruce Lee movie.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Lee.
Bruce Lee wore it.
Yeah. Kareem has one.
Her too.
The fur coat wore by Gwyneth Paltrow in Royal Tenenbaums was a good costume that she kind of wore throughout that was pretty recognizable. Indiana Jones had the hat and like the leather coat and everything, and kind of had that classic look all the time. And then why not RoboCop suit?
Hey, the Indiana Jones influenced Zach Galifianakis,
Right?
At the satchel.
Yep.
All right, let's hear from Herschel. Unmute us, man.
I just don't want to interrupt, I mean, this is gold right here.
Right.
Okay, so no particular order. I go with Han Solo, Empire Strikes Back Han Solo with the little waistcoat. I'll go with that one. Leaving the vest for somebody else. Also Harrison Ford, you brought up kind of a little bit. Blade Runner. His coat, he wore the same coat through the whole thing, and that made it even into an episode of American Dad. So that's pop culture gold. Then I'm going to go with Kurt Russell, Big Trouble in Little China. He wore the same outfit pretty much through the whole movie. He's got his Chinese muscle shirt on, his tight jeans, and his moccasin boots. Also, Kurt Russell, Escape from New York. He's got the muscle shirt, the tattered leather jacket, and motorcycle boots and tiger stripe camo. Got to point it out, Kurt Russell kept that, and then 16 years later could still wear it in Escape from LA at the very beginning of the movie. Just pointing it out. Anybody else can wear shit they had 16 years ago. I want to see it. How many is that? Is that 4? We're at 4 here?
Done like
Yeah,
4
it's
Kurt
not-
Russells.
Yeah. So that's 2 Harrison Fords,
2 Kurt
Harrison
Russells,
Ford, 2
2 Kurt Russells,
and the wild card.
and 1 Don Johnson Miami Vice. Pastel shirts, white or yellow pants, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that was my whole look in the 7th grade. So
You still catch a guy like that dressed like that. Obviously, you just wearing pastel and white pants. Like, hey, Miami Vice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The '80s called. They want their look back.
So there you have it.
All good, man. All good so far. Adam, have you not gone yet?
I have not gone.
All right, man. Kill it, dude.
All right. Starting at number 5. Yep. Okay, I did 5. All right. Starting at number 5, I went with Wesley Snipes' trench coat from Blade 2.
Ooh.
I think on Blade 2, he had the nice blood red on the inside of his trench coat. I think in Blade 1, he just had a regular old trench coat. And in Blade 3, I think it got designs in the red, which I didn't like. I could be wrong about that, but I do know that Blade 2, it was that deep blood red inside the inside of his trench coat, and I always thought that looked cool. All right, number 4 was from The Matrix, and I went with Morpheus's glasses. I remember the first time he put those things on, they didn't have the fucking... I thought that was sick.
We all did. We all marked out hard for that. Pieces.
Number 3, I went with Brad Pitt in Fight Club when he had that button up with the red leather jacket. I think that's a super iconic look, and one of Brad Pitt was in peak physical condition.
Has he ever not been?
I think like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I can't speak right now. And like Fight Club was like peak Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Snatch.
He still
Snatch. Yeah.
Oh, what about when he was that gladiator dude? He played like Troy or something.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Let's
move on.
we're going to do a boner check in a minute.
No, showing.
Number two. I was on Andy's frame of thinking, but I went with Bruce Lee's yellow track suit.
Brad Pitt kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And my number 1 was Marty McFly's shoes from Back to the Future 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Running Man yellow suits.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But Dynamo had the better costume.
Man, everyone's having really great.
I know this is a really solid top 5.
Dynamo.
Everyone's had a really good one. Like I haven't been disappointed in anybody's answers. All right. So I chose Indiana Jones hat. As a iconic look. My dad has a fedora that he has had since like the 80s, and inside it's like the Indiana Jones edition.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. It's I don't know. I don't think he's ever worn it at like any sort of event. He's not like some sort of like trench coat hat guy. And he's not whipping like across the house on the chandeliers like we have those too. I chose the bride's outfit in Kill Bill. I have the bathrobe and jellies, the dude.
Oh yeah.
I have the iconic tank top worn by our favorite Pork Chop Express driver, Jack Burton. The check is in the mail, Herschel. And the last one I chose was the outfit that Ernest P. Worrell wore in every single movie. In fact, they even had a gag. Yeah, and commercial. They even had a gag where he like goes to get his new outfit out, and it's the same exact outfit that he always wears. So when you saw Ernest
goes to jail.
Oh,
what'd you say?
I was just telling her who Ernest P. Worrell was.
Oh, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah,
Ernest
I
goes to
just I
camp.
didn't know his like
Reno,
actual
Ernest
whole name
saves Christmas.
apparently.
Ernest goes to jail.
Ernest gets cancer.
Yeah.
Wherever Ernest goes, he's wearing the same thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
So you know what I mean, Vern?
I
And
can't wait to see
that is who that's what we did. I just want to say that I think, I'm not gonna lie, that might have been the best top 5 we've ever done.
I don't think
I thought
so.
that everybody
but,
had really good answers. No, I don't know what you're trying to do over there, but you're not squeezing another 5.
Indiana, the thing about what makes that iconic when you mention the hat is that anytime somebody wears that hat, and it's been in Seinfeld and plenty of other shows, and somebody's wearing the hat, somebody goes, "Hello, Indiana." Indiana. You know, and then nobody mentioned the Revenge of the Nerds or a Billy Jack. I thought Herschel would hit Billy Jack.
That's weird.
I
because
didn't figure
also-
anybody would know who that was. You know, does anybody know who that is? Anybody?
I know the movie. I mean, I never seen it, but I know
Okay.
what it's referencing.
Billy Jack. I don't know what Billy Jack is at all, and I've never seen Revenge of the Nerds.
Hmm.
I mean, from what I've heard from you guys, I don't want to see it. So
You want to
That's
see
what makes it
Revenge of the
so
Nerds.
good. Is that
You
when you're
want to
watching
see
it,
it.
you're
the
like,
way you guys have talked
whoa.
about it, it makes me completely turned off from the idea of watching.
That's
You're
why
like-
it's so good, because you just can't believe, like, yo, that's assault, brother. You can't do
Yeah.
that.
You're like, it's kind of a rape right there, girl.
And I don't know if you
and
can- I
fell
don't
in
think
love
you
with him. Yeah.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you could do that then. And it's like,
You can't.
No,
Um,
in fact,
you can't-
You couldn't even do that in the 80s.
Or
that was still called assault.
That was a deleted scene from Porky's. They couldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
I watched that movie. It was probably 10 years ago, and my roommate was like, is he gonna rape that girl? And he's like, that's not what that would be, right? I'm like, no, dude, that's a rape, dude. I don't know. It's very, very, very crazy that they were allowed to get away with that.
But like
anyway.
I said,
I'm not gonna watch it.
like I said, all in response, they were instigated by the alpha betas, always bullying, and all they did was respond. And if you and Jefferson backed them up, then it's okay.
Had Booger in it. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Curtis Armstrong. I was going to write Curtis Armstrong, probably the greatest character actor.
One of them.
Oh,
He doesn't get enough love.
Put him in everything. All
Maybe
right.
I'm going to put him in
uh,
my recast. Hold on.
Hold on. Can I put him playing Carl Urban playing?
He could do
All
a better
right,
Carl
so-
Urban than Carl.
All right, next up is the recast. I believe we're just going to do 3 characters in a Carl Urban. And let's go ahead and we're just going to jump right into it. Andy, kill it,
Sure.
brother.
All right, my recast. So I went with to recast Driver. Why not go with Ansel Elgort, who was Baby Driver? You know, you need somebody that can pull off the driving.
This will be his.
Portions,
Will be
so
his
why not?
sequel.
You know,
Oh.
and he's like he's got a similar look. He's younger, so it would work in that sense. We'll go with Irene. Will recast as Sydney Sweeney. She's a young actress that would fit again. Age would pair up well with Ansel.
You could basically put Helen Keller in her role, and
Yeah, it would have making a difference pretty much. Shannon, who is the car mechanic, owner of the shop.
yeah.
John Cranston's role, I put John Bernthal. I think it'd be a good fun one to put in there. And then Carl Urban I'd cast as Bernie. As I think that's the choice billing for him.
Good about that?
Yeah.
That's where maybe when Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with Adam.
This is not too bad of a recast. I just did basically what I did with Tango and Cash, and I just recast all the villains because, I think it's after all the fanboying we did with Ryan Gosling to recast him, Andy, I think it's kind of like a sin. But for Bernie, I went with Mark Ruffalo. For Nino, I went with Woody Harrelson. For Shannon, I went with Christian Bale. And then KU, I just recasted him as a standard.
Let's keep it in the household. Sabrina, you're up.
Oh, okay. I recast Carrie Mulligan as Amanda Seyfried. I recast Oscar Isaac as Reggie Jean Page, which was the lead actor of Bridgerton, he was in Bridgerton, and that's all I know about him. But he seemed cool. And then I recast Vic Hoskins as the European guy that gets his head beat in front of the strippers. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know where to put Carl Urban, so I'm gonna put him. I honestly just wanted to put him as the guy who comes out at the pawn shop and shoots Oscar Isaac. None of these roles suited him to me.
All right. Chris, why don't you go ahead and take it?
All right, Bryan Cranston's role by Kevin Pollak.
Okay.
Albert Brooks, his role will be played by Dermot Mulroney, not Dylan McDermott. Dermot Mulroney would be in that role.
There is
Oh,
a
Dylan McDermott's a good
difference.
name,
And then Ryan Gosling would be played by Scott Eastwood. It's about time he gets a badass role instead of his dad still playing him at age 90. Time for Scott to take the fucking baton at some point and play one of these.
His dad's dead, man.
This is
Just
dad.
fucking with you. Come on.
Oh, I'm like, holy shit, really?
I'll
No,
say we just
as
lost.
you all are googling shit, man.
Carl Urban would be Nino.
Also a decent spot for him. Yeah.
That way he gets drowned, as long as he gets killed.
I know, right?
It's a little ridiculous, but okay. Herschel, what are you happening over here? What's going on with you?
Nothing. So, as much as it pains me, I'll cast Rebel Wilson as Blanche. And I say pains because that means she has to die. For the driver, I'm gonna, a little more eye candy, I guess, with Zac Efron. Then for Bernie, I'll give you Daniel Craig because he's got time on his hands now that James Bond is over. And Carl Urban, I'll put in the standard spot. Standard.
Okay. All right.
Well, I was thinking maybe, Rebel Wilson's bright bleach blonde hair and getting that blood blown into it. That'd be nice, kind of a contrast.
Yeah. Drives home the fact that she was decapitated. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of the red on orange.
Yeah.
All right. Now, after hearing Adam's take on this, I kind of feel dumb, but I couldn't really figure it out because there wasn't a whole lot of places I wanted to, or I could figure out where to put Carla Urban. So anyway, I put a Chaz Palminteri. Is that the way you pronounce his name? I put him as Nino. I always like that guy. He's probably my favorite Italian American. Megan
Over
Fox.
Chef Boyardee.
Megan Fox is Blanche. Honeypot only needs like 8 lines. Gets out of there pretty quick. Take it easy, Megan. See you later. I chose Richard Madden as Standard. He played that dude in the Eternals. And then, real weak here, folks. Carl Urban, the driver. I know. I really wish now that after all this like fanboying we've all done for Gosling looking so good, that I would just do that to him like that. But I probably should have tried to figure out a part for Cranston a little bit.
Yeah. I always
bet
look
you I
at
could have
it
figured that out. I probably should have chose the guy that owned the junkyard shop in Christine as, damn it, Leverett. I got to say before Chris did this time. I think about Leverett.
I had written down Vic Hoskins, and I couldn't decide if I wanted him to take over Nino or Bryan Cranston.
Vic Hoskins?
Yeah, he plays in the Jurassic World movie. That's the first one that came to my head, where he's the bad guy who wants to take the raptors and use them as a weapon.
Oh, that dude.
Fucking-
Sometimes I think that dude is what's his face from Criminal Intent.
I don't know.
Vince D'Onofrio.
Yeah. Sometimes I
I
think
thought
it's
it was
Vincent
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Wait, I thought
So-
that was the same guy.
There's another great Italian American.
Yeah, his name is actually Vic Hoskins in the movie. That is Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm like,
I
looking
was
at him
like, okay, never
I'm
mind.
like, are you
Wait a
sure
minute. I
that's
know what
not
I
Vincent
did.
D'Onofrio?
I know what I did now.
Like,
That's what she's talking about.
I googled Vic Hoskins images and it brings.
I
up
was
Vincent
thinking
D'Onofrio.
about his role in the movie, and I
Like,
was
that
like,
looks
wait a
just
minute.
like Vincent D'Onofrio.
When he said that, I was super confused.
Well, I'm over here like,
I was like, that is Vincent D'Onofrio. I didn't even really hear what I said.
oh
Andy.
my goodness.
Andy, you're from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Is Chef Boyardee the greatest Italian American?
Well, either that or Christopher Columbus. They got a friggin'.
Right.
Well, I guess he wasn't Italian American. He was just Italian.
Yeah, and they came to America.
He thinks he's Italian Indian.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that wraps up our review of Driver. This was Seamen on Film reviewing the 2011.
We gotta do
We didn't
ratings.
do our ratings.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. All right, some ratings. We're just gonna go down the line here. Chris, what do you think? 1 out of 10 Dixie Cups. Where does
6.
Driver 2011 rate for you?
6 Dixie Cups, Joe. Because the end just nothing was resolved really. I wondered what happened to that girl who didn't talk. You know, she just sat staring at him. The little boy needs a dad, and Ryan Gosling was about to play that part. He took her to the fucking wherever the LA River led to some runoff that seemed romantic.
That's street runoff, is what that was.
That's down by Skid Row. I think
That's disgusting. When they were down there playing that shit, I was like, no, that'd be like, that's where the ditches all run to.
Yeah. I'll give it 6 Dixie Cups. I wanted some
All right,
resin.
we got a 6er on there. All right. Let's go with Adam. What you got, big guy?
I'm not gonna, I've said pretty much everything I said. I do want to say that I found out on Ryan Gosling as a thespian and not like a weird man crush like I think you guys do. But
You think he's beautiful, right?
I mean, he's a good looking dude, but I
He's no
care
Channing
more
Tatum.
about his roles and his acting than I do his rugged good looks. Anyways, with that being said, I'm just gonna I wanted to give it score really high, but I don't think I could do it 8.5. So I'm just gonna give it a solid 8.
Herschel, what you got?
I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for, and for me it's a 7, and really it's good except for that last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes is just that's the only issue I have with the whole thing. But it's a 7 for me, man. Just because I got to score it higher than Chris.
Brandon?
I think this was a pretty good movie, but I don't think it's for everyone. It kind of doesn't stay within just action. So there is a little bit of drama and stuff going on. I have a hard time classifying this movie honestly. But I get why people who love it. And I also see why people who don't love it. So I'm going to give it a 6.5 because it's something I'm never going to probably choose to watch. but if it happens to be on that last action sequence and stuff, I will probably stop and stare at it. And it is something you could potentially recommend to another person to watch. 6.5 Dixie cups.
My man Andy, did you go yet?
No, I did not. Yeah, I will give it a solid 8. You know, it's like I was saying before, it's kind of it's a sleeper, you know, like you initially thought it was something else based on the trailer. You
And
find
you
out
gave it 2 points because it had a Mustang.
Yeah, right. It's got a great, you know, scene with the Mustang. But I mean, like the movie, it's a nice like slow burn, but it's done well. You know, it's not like dragging slow. It's just like a nice gradual build up. It tells more of the story than focusing on the action parts. And it's underappreciated, you know. So yeah, it's an 8.
Nice.
I'm gonna go 7.5. I
That feels fair.
really liked this movie. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was even the slow part wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. 7.5 seems fair. 8 seems.
Wait a minute. 7.5. What, like, if the slow part was bad enough that the first time you watched it, you walked away from it. You only
The
watched
thing
the
is that
whole
I was young.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a young calf.
Restless soul.
Now an old bull. And I was watching that thing and I was like, okay, you know, I was getting into it. Yeah, it was. I really honestly liked this movie a lot. I thought the music was cool. I thought that elevator scene. I'm not lying to you. I was like, "Damn, this shit is crazy!" Like even as I'm watching it, I'm like pressing pause and writing notes down, and then unpausing it and being like, "Oh shit, he just stomped that guy's head into a puddle." Like, whoa! In about 40 seconds. I thought it was a really good movie, and I definitely want to watch it again. I definitely want to tell other people to watch this movie. 7.5 stars, 7.5 Dixie Cup hats, and I'm sticking by it. I feel good about that. I think I gave 8.5 to Top Gun. If I could change that, I don't know. This movie's better than Top Gun.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been
I'll tell you
sucking
that.
on that 40 this whole time too.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Maybe
I
just
tell you
reel
what,
it
I did
back a
at no
minute.
point in time did I think that little kid in
Let's try not to offend people.
did I not think that little kid in Driver was like 75 years old? So I always knew that he was 8.
When they make the sequel in 20 years, he'll be 16. Yeah.
Driver 2.
He's the new driver.
So that I think kind of wraps up this whole little adventure we went on
Yeah.
here for 100 minutes. That's
Next
all
pick
we
in the
got.
wheel.
Take it
Yeah.
easy, and then let's do the wheel.
Well, first we want to do the next movie, right?
Yeah. Who's got the
Sure,
next?
yeah, we
pick?
can announce the next movie.
Is that the
Herschel?
format? Is that the format? All right. So I mean, I thought about it. It was horror from the 90s. There's a lot of stuff in there, and so I'm gonna go with something that you've probably already seen, and if you haven't seen, you're probably not gonna like it. And that is Event Horizon.
Oh, nice.
Because
Like
we don't
sci-fi horror kind of
do
deal?
there's not a whole lot of sci-fi in this thing. So I'm trying to branch out a little bit, and anyway, so that's what you get. Now, do you want to talk about homework now, or do you want to do that later?
I want to
Good
mention
now.
that
Do
my
that now.
original movie, I had a 90s free for all, and Event Horizon was on like my top 4.
It's not to start talking about it before we start talking about it,
But
but I
it's-
think it's really underrated.
I'm
It
looking forward
really
to it.
is.
I'm looking forward to it.
Has anyone seen this before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I might even have my ticket
so-
stub for when I originally went when I was a kid.
Oh wow, wow, that's impressive.
I was in like
Um,
8th
I
grade.
understand it, so it'll be fun, I hope.
It won't be fun for you, Sabrina,
Oh,
but
thanks.
I'm just being honest. So for your homework, I mean, you've all been on ships. You know, this is your opportunity. So I want your top 5. You can just give your favorite ships, spaceships, because we are talking about a science fiction movie. However, you have the option to pick a ship that you want to complain about. Like, why the hell would they put that there? You've all served on ships. You've had the opportunity to walk around ships. Here's your opportunity to complain about movie ships, if you so choose. Open it up to TV shows, if that's your thing. You know, if you want to
You read my
Battlestar
mind.
Galactica, float your boat. Anyway,
I'm gonna
yeah,
have
so that's your homework.
I'll have a couple Gavin McLeod comments.
So yeah, either just your favorite or a mixture of your favorite or ones you want to complain about. You know, whatever it is, you know.
Okay.
You can get technical, it's fine. You can get technical.
Oh, look at that pizza.
Getting so small.
Who's next after Herschel?
It's you.
Yeah, back to the top, I think.
Back to the first person.
Oh,
I'm praying for the.
hold on.
What happened? It went away.
He broke it.
It's not the same if you guys can't hear hear the wheel spinning, so I had to add the sound.
Ah, yes.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, I can't even hear it anyways.
It totally sets the mood, you know.
Aww. There's a chance I get the Carl Urban Classic.
Final action. Finally. Get some of the better Dwayne Johnson movies in that time frame.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about
Oh, good
talking about
ones.
Walking Tall and
Yeah.
The
one with
rundown.
Broadway. Yeah, the rundown.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Did hear that one.
That one I heard.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We'll see you guys next month for Event Horizon.
Nice.
Thank you.